Hello, Power Bankers. I'm your host, Jacqueline Twillie, and you're listening to PowerBanking, the podcast for women leaders in male-dominated industries. Gotta give a special thank you to our episode sponsor, Anchor.fm. Listen, if you're thinking about starting a podcast, Anchor is the way to do it. This is why. One, it's free to get started. They have tools that allow for you to record from your phone or your computer, and they handle the distribution on all of the places where you find podcasts. So if you want to start a podcast, this is the one-stop shop to get it all done. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor.fm to get started. Top earners are problem solvers. So if you're looking to increase your earnings in 2020, you're going to have to get great at articulating the value that you add to your company, to the team, to the overall organizational goals. And you do that by doing your job better than anyone else. So we're getting ready for a new year, a brand new decade. And let me tell y'all, I am a planner. I love lists. I love step-by-step guides. So as I'm preparing for the new year and the new decade, I have lots of checklists. I'm checking it twice and just making sure that I'm setting myself up to be in the position that I want to be in the next year, in the next 5 years, and definitely in the next 10 years. So as I'm thinking about that, I thought about you all. What can I give you what type of checklist to start the year strong? Well, many of you know my expertise lies in teaching women how to negotiate. So with that being said, I went through my latest best-selling book, Don't Leave Money on the Table, Negotiation Strategies for Women, and I created a 2020 negotiation checklist. Now, this checklist is designed to help you put yourself in a position today, at the time that you're listening to this podcast episode, put you in a position so that when you have the opportunity to negotiate, no matter if it's in January of 2020 or April or in June, if you follow these steps, you will be better prepared to advocate for yourself confidently. Top earners are known as problem solvers. They're known for getting the job done, and they are also known for advocating confidently for themselves. So I created this checklist for you all. You'll have to download it from the PowerBanking Facebook group, and in the show notes of this episode, you can link directly to the PowerBanking Facebook group. So, as we dig in, step number 1, look at the details. Now, if you're negotiating for a new job, look at the details. What is a job description? What are they telling you in the interview? What is the market rate? On the flip side, if you're negotiating a promotion or a raise, I want you to follow some of the same elements. What is a job description? What geographic area will you be working in? What is the market rate? And why do they want you to be in that role to get the job done? All of those factors are important because it helps you, once you receive an offer, to express why you deserve the higher end of whatever pay range there is. Which brings us to our next point. How much does a job pay? Now, I received an email from someone recently, and they said that they hadn't talked about pay with either of the companies that they were interviewing with, and they wanted some advice as to if they should be prepared to negotiate. And my instant gut reaction was absolutely yes. Go do the research so that you can come back prepared. So I'm telling you all, it doesn't matter if this is the most amazing company, if it's your dream company, or if you're an entrepreneur and you're negotiating with your dream client, you have to know your numbers. Okay? Facts over feelings, especially when you're excited about working for a company or getting a promotion. Facts over feelings. So go do the research and figure out those numbers. Number 3, anticipate the challenges. Now, challenges will arise. Most of the time, we can think of something that we don't want to happen, and we'll be like, I hope that don't come up. Listen, y'all, if you are having any type of gut reaction like, I hope that don't come up, that is the area that you need to spend time preparing for. Anticipate your challenge, but step number 4, go even further and prepare your response. When you're able to prepare your response, you eliminate those moments where you come back after the fact and you're saying to yourself, I should have said this, or I should have done that. Next, think about your walkaway point. Yes, think about that walkaway point. Why? Because sometimes you have to walk away. It's about understanding your boundaries and understanding what you are worth. Now, I have a course online and it's titled, Nah, I Know My Value. And in that course, I walk people through the framework to confidently express the value they add so that they don't leave money on the table and so they don't settle for less than what they're worth. So if you haven't checked out that course, Nah, I Know My Value, there's some parts of the course that are free for you to view. And all of that is on JacquelineTwillie.com. Now, back to our checklist. What is your bottom line? You have to know what the bottom line is, because if you don't know, your boundary point really doesn't exist. So, what is the minimum for that job? What is the minimum salary for that job? And you have to be honest with yourself to determine if you're entry level or if you're advanced and you need to be at the top of the range. Your bottom line is not the number you need to cover your monthly expenses. Your bottom line must be based on the market rate. And I want to reiterate here, the market rate is the geographic area that you live in, that's a factor in it, the title of the job, and your years of experience. And in some cases, your education is also a factor. There are several online websites that you can go to get a market report for free. So salary.com, payscale.com, glassdoor.com, paysa.com, those are all great starting places. And I go in much detail in the book. And I also have some videos on YouTube where I go into more detail about the market rate. Here's the deal. You have to know the bottom line. So spend that time doing the research. 80% of your negotiation, it's going to be done in your research phase, because when you walk into a conversation, you want to be prepared with the information. Information is power. The more you know, the better informed decisions you will be able to make. Now, brings us to our next point. Talk it through. If you have never said that you're expecting to earn $160,000, you might sound like this. $160,000? Now listen, no one is going to believe that you expect to earn that much if you respond that way. So, once you do your market research and you figure out what the number is that is your bottom line. Oh, let me back up. Your bottom line is not what you need to pay your bills, but you also don't give them your bottom line, because you need to have room to negotiate. They're going to negotiate from that point. So your bottom line is not the number you give to the job recruiter, the hiring manager, the person you're talking to about the role. That's the number you keep in the back of your head, because at the later stages of your negotiation, when you've gone back and forth, that bottom line is the number that will help you to determine if you're going to walk away or not. Now, once you present a number to them, let's say your salary expectations, you should give your salary expectations based on the higher end of the range that you found. Now, I told you to use 3 online tools, the salary calculators. I highly suggest that you use 3 at minimum, because what you'll be able to do is see the range. Each site is going to have different information because they're pulling on different data points. So it is really important that you look at 3 of those websites. And If you are in a professional association, talk to your mentors in that professional association. Or if you have a leadership coach, a career coach, a negotiation strategist, talk to those professionals to fact check those numbers before you get into the conversation. And the reason why we're talking about this now, well before you get into the negotiation, is you're setting yourself up to win in 2020. These things that you're doing now, this is going to put you in a position so that when that moment comes in 2020, you are ready to go. So let's talk about talking it through. Create an outline of what you want to say, the points that you want to cover. We've already talked about if you've never said $160,000 before, you might not sound confident, and you need to sound confident. So think of what you're going to say and just bullet point it out. When I work with people one-on-one, we do a little bit of a role play. And during that role play, I encourage them to create an outline of the things they want to cover. That way, when they hop into the conversation, they are anticipating the challenges. They know the curveballs, or they anticipate curveballs, and they have a good response prepared. Now, the last part. This is the most important part. All of it's important. Preparation is super important, but this is also like my next important thing. Evaluate and make a decision. When you receive an offer, you have power. Do not negate your power. Don't give it away to somebody else thinking this is the best I can do, because you deserve to live your best life, period, point blank. End of story. And you cannot live your best life if you're not getting paid what you are worth. I feel like I'm preaching here. I got really passionate. Let me calm down, y'all. Listen, once you get an offer, express your enthusiasm. Say something like this. Thanks so much for this. I can't wait to review everything in writing. When can I expect a written offer? And once you receive the written offer, then take time to review it and make a decision based on your career goals. And I have a note at the bottom of the checklist that says, consider what you're good at, what you prefer to do less of, and what your financial goals are. And the reason why you want to consider those factors is because you want to be doing work that's going to excite you, that you're going to be very enthusiastic about doing for the majority of the time. So if there are things that you don't like doing, and the job that you're applying for, or the position that they want you to move into, this promotion, if it is not setting you up to win, that is an indicator that you should consider for your walkaway point. And ultimately, your financial goals are so important. You need to know what your financial goals are and make sure that every move that you make is moving you one step closer in that direction. So, this is my 2020 negotiation checklist for you all. Start using it right now. Start going through these processes now, because it does take time. You're not going to do this in 5 minutes. You're not going to do it in the car on the way to a meeting or an interview. Spend the time right now putting yourself in a position to win. One of the favorite things that I've been seeing on Instagram lately says, do something today that your future self will thank you for. And I could not agree more. So I encourage you to do something today that your future self will thank you for. Now, if you found any of the information in this episode helpful, please share this with a friend. I want everybody to win in 2020. I don't want anyone to leave money on the table. So share this with the women you know who work in male-dominated industries so that they can be in a better position to advocate for themselves. My name is Jacqueline Twillie. I am president at ZeroGap.co. And until next time, continue to emulate excellence and eliminate excuses.